Thank you for tuning in to Koppen with Comic. I'm Brian Koppen, and we're here with comic Erica Hernandez. Erica Hernandez, how the hell are you?
I'm so good. How are you?
Good. Oh, thank you so much for coming on during these dark days. And it's so nice that you're kind of brightening our days with your comedy videos online. I know I follow you across all social platforms because there's more than one less important Erica Hernandez. You are Eric Cuddy, which is ERICUDDY.
Yeah.
And so that's at Twitter and Instagram. It's easy to remember.
So easy. Yeah. I made it really simple for everybody by using something that is very tangentially related to my name.
Yeah.
And has to be spelled.
Yeah, but I mean, we could also find you erica-hernandez.com.
Correct. Yeah, my website. And then that should link to everything if that's people's jam. I don't know. Do people get on websites like as anyone?
Jams, man. Because they might just Google like Erica Hernandez, go to the site,
Sure,
and actually point us to the socials.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, I've actually never, I don't think, maybe I've Googled myself like once, but pretty much never. And I don't know what that would reveal. Who knows?
Yeah. Yeah. Because also, sometimes like you Googling yourself over and over again can kind of get you your results. Whereas then if you go on a stranger's computer, you're like, oh, shit. Yeah. Me clicking on the Erica Hernandez comedy videos does one thing for my search engine and nobody else is doing that thing.
Yeah. I live in a vortex.
What kind of comedy were you doing before? I know you do comedy videos, but also, what are you doing now during the quarantine? Are you keeping that Instagram or Instagram Reels or TikTok, full of comedy videos?
Sure. Yeah. So I'm a little bit of like an old soul. So social media is also like, it's like a fun experiment for me where like, if I have an idea, I'll put something fun up, but I'm not like, most of the stand-ups that I know and people who do like a lot of that stuff are very, very active on that. And that is, I would say like not my forte. See me live, but yeah. But yeah, I do like I have been doing a couple of things. I've did some impressions. I did an impression of Phoebe Waller-Bridge in quarantine because I felt inspired one day, and mostly because I was like in quarantine and so miserable, and I was like, sure, the celebrities are really suffering from this as well. It was right after like Gal Gadot had done her thing where she, had everybody sing that song, and I was like, this is crazy that like they're gonna be like, oh, this is really hard, and I'm like, you have like 9 bedrooms in your house probably, whereas like I'm like multiple roommates sharing one bathroom, and like quarantine is very different for us. So.
But it's so funny that you beat Phoebe Waller-Bridge to it. You would have think that she would have spoofed it before you even.
Oh, I don't know. Well, I spoofed Phoebe Waller-Bridge.
I know. So you're just so fucking brilliant that you're smarter than that Grammy winner or Emmy winner or whatever the fuck she does.
I guess it's weird that she didn't do like herself.
Yeah, she should have just fucking taken the piss out of all these people, and so you were also UCB while that was going on.
Yeah. While that was going on, that feels so weird to say.
And so you were there for years and years, and how are you going to scratch that itch when the quarantine ends?
I mean, luckily, I guess this is a plug at the wrong time, but my team, we were a mod team for several years, and for those who don't know, that's like the sketch comedy circuit of UCB, and we were performing on Mod Night, which is their sketch comedy night, but we had just gotten sort of quote unquote promoted to a weekend team, so we were performing Friday nights, and we had, I think, literally one show before the pandemic hit. Wow. So we were like on this high, and then it happened, and we just decided as a team, we're like, regardless of what the future of that theater is, like we really enjoy making comedy together, so we are still doing it like virtually. We've been having a couple virtual shows and putting together stuff, so it's not dead, so to speak. But yeah, definitely different. I mean, the stuff that you can do when you're all in different places is a little bit limited, but we've managed, so there's some stuff. Yeah.
You got to keep our spirits up as well as your own, because if you had that outlet for exploration before and expression, like if you don't have that now, you're fucked.
Truly, yeah. Honestly, comedy is what is gonna save us all through this. Like it truly is.
Yeah, it's totally essential. Were you bummed when they did not realize that you were essential, according to the state of New York?
An essential worker, yeah. I was very happy to just like, so I mean, this is not probably too much information for this podcast, but I was a bit of a germaphobe when I was younger. And so when this all started, I was like, I'll just like, I don't want to have to constantly be like sanitizing door handles every 2 seconds. So I was like pretty fine to stay at home. I did leave to volunteer, which was deemed essential, but that was,
Oh, cool.
yeah, but kind of, like we kind of were essential work. Like we were doing people, I mean, I say we, I don't do stand up, but there were stand-ups doing like outdoor shows during this, right?
Wow.
Like
Yeah, they are now. Yeah, they are
yeah.
now. I wonder how kind of early they were doing it.
Oh, I don't know. But yeah, I think also like we've all had to like make stuff from our homes and audition and do all this crazy stuff from like a Skype or a Zoom call, which is insane, but people are like starved for content right now because everybody's at home. So it's kind of, yeah, it's weird. The content quality has gotten real bad, but here we are.
Yeah, I see on your bio that you were in Brittany Runs a Marathon, and I see you on Instagram posing in front of, said promotional material. And so, so I guess you're an actress of some note. And so you're telling me that you've been kind of auditioning via Zoom and stuff?
Yeah, so I mean, because they can't really like I mean, there are some quote unquote safe ways forward for the industry, but it's I think tricky for them to open like and film stuff with, on sets there's like hundreds of people. So they have right now like they're very sparsely auditioning for certain things, but all of those auditions are happening like either over Zoom or you just self-tape it. But I have done a couple over Zoom, which is really weird because it's like I don't even know where to look, and then I don't have like a great way to like get my computer up to the right level, so I'm always like double chinning it to like look like it's I've obviously not booked anything because I'm like giving myself like a fish eye view.
Yeah, and what happened to Erica Hernandez? Like she was posting bikini pics and now she's got the double chin. What the fuck happened during quarantine? I blame the germophobia. But what's cool though is if you do do a couple takes of, self-taping or whatever, and if some of them fucking blow, you can just turn it into a comedy video, right?
That is, you know what? That's so true. And maybe that's the field that I haven't tapped into quite yet, but should, because I got plenty of those. I got plenty of bad takes.
And because they want to see that, Erica Hernandez is not just, big time actress. Like she also is just fucking hilarious and also doesn't do perfect self-taping every single take, right?
Oh, absolutely not. I think they would probably know that even from watching my tapes, but I think they don't. There's not a whole lot left to the imagination there, but yeah, sure. Yeah, she's so real, so down to earth, so flawed.
Real. I love that. Like even in her film, she seems so real. I love that. It's just like, well, I kind of fucked up that take or something. And I really like the germophobia thing. I didn't really see that on your topics, but I have OCD myself, and it kind of manifests itself in checking behaviors. And there's somebody else in the family who I think might also kind of have something in the germophobia realm. So while I don't wash my hands 85 times, I do check that the water is off 85 times. So it's the same fucking result. Like, if you're comfortable talking about it, do you kind of go through routines to, washing your hands 3 times instead of 5 or something like that?
Well, so again, this is something that I had when I was younger, so I no longer struggle with it. But I will say that I think I'm so sorry for the background noise. I am at my sister's place, and there's
it is so children. Pleasant to have the children in the background.
They're just they're like as we're just like shit, fuck, shit. They're like, ah! Just kidding. But yeah, he's literally right next to me. Joke. No, he's that. But he immediately got bored when I started doing this and like left the room, as they do. But I had it when I was younger, so it's not something that I'm like actively struggling with. But I think the pandemic, for many people, sort of like triggered certain habits, and I would definitely say that. Like because one of the like telltale things of germophobia is just blowing everything out of proportion, like imagining every worst scenario of like a germ, right? So when this whole thing started, it was like, well, COVID's probably on the grocery and I just touched the grocery, so now I have to wash my hand before I touch this. But what if I touch this before I wash my hand? Then I've got to sanitize that. Like it just like snowballs into this thing where suddenly everything must be covered with it, and like that is easy to fall into when you don't know about this thing. It's still so foreign, but Oh my gosh, I should close the door.
Yeah, either one's fine. It's really
It's really
pleasant,
not
but
that.
feel free
Okay.
to get up if you need to.
I mean, yeah, I'll leave it open then. They're
Okay.
far enough away that this won't bother them. But if it does bother you, then great.
Yeah, it's totally fine. And then, yeah, I think even the germaphobe person that I know, or he or she had kind of done the whole, washing down groceries and things, and then she checked with other people, and they were like, yeah, I used to do that. I don't do it anymore. And even me, who really doesn't have a problem with that kind of shit, like I found myself being like, okay, I touched my mask after touching the doorknob. I got to watch the mask or some shit. And so like it almost created new checking behaviors that I'm not trying to buy. I'm not trying to get into that bullshit because I have enough of those. But that sounds like that was happening earlier in your life. And one of the topics that we kind of find interesting is the crazy things you did in middle school. And I have some real fucking horrors. But before I feel comfortable even in kind of like revealing those, I got to find out what yours were first.
Oh, well, so the one that, I've never been, again, definitely was not at the time, like any particular form of cool. Now I understand that is subjective, but I wore like my first day of sixth grade. I remember I wore this like matching like plaid skirt outfit, not in a cute way, and like some sandals that I think were made for an 80-year-old woman, but because they had like orthotics built into them, and like that's what I wore to school. But I remember there was a pivotal moment for me. My family spread out all over the world, and so during a summer one year before, or like right when I turned 13, I went to visit some cousins that I have in Germany. And they were like, European punk was like a thing when I was that age, and it was really hardcore. Like they had like
spiked
mohawks
collars,
and spiked collars and black and grunge and eyeliner and like the whole thing. It was like really intense. And my cousins, one of them was like in that scene, and she was my age, so was who I was hanging out with. And I'm like, that's like the most like goody two shoe, just like awkward, like super lanky. I had a growth spurt super early and like didn't know how to like walk properly. It was just like, and I'm hanging out with these people, just like fascinated by how cool they were. And she starts showing me all this music. So I go home in eighth grade. I decided like I want to be kind of punkish. So I started wearing eyeliner and tried to straighten my hair. And I have a lot of like really thick, like manager, textured, let's say, hair. So it just like it didn't work. But I was wearing like all black and stuff. And the thing was like, I wanted to kind of like embrace that persona, let's say, but I was too afraid to like go into a Hot Topic or a Spencer's to like buy the stuff that everyone was wearing. So instead, I told my mom, I was like, I want the like everyone was wearing these like the sweatbands. Like, I don't know if you remember this from the 90s, but it was like it was like people like those things that tennis players wear, but like the punks would wear them, like black ones with like skulls or whatever on them, like it was a thing. And so I told my mom and first of all, like I had this conversation with my mom, so that should show you just like how not it actually was. I'm
how
like,
not punk you are.
Yeah. Like I really want these like sweatbands, and I guess it wasn't, I also didn't necessarily like, I wasn't in a family where you could just be like, I want this new clothes thing, and like my parents would go get it, and there were like 4 of us, so that was not how things worked. So my mom was like, okay, cool, and she knit me one out of this like colorful rainbow yarn.
Oh, mother.
And I wore it for like a lot of 8th grade, and I had these little like skater shoes. I didn't skateboard, like just like it was just like as if somebody had played dress up on a doll that just was like, there's no way that this is this doll's personality. It was but like
did that. Were you accepted by that little subculture, that little sect of your school, or no?
Absolutely not.
And you kept it up though, like when you were not accepted by the hardcore
that I was like trying to be friends with them. I think I was just trying to be like, this is who I am, and like, and it was just I had this shirt that I bought in Germany that was like 8 sizes too small for me, but at the time it was like a little bit of midriff was also like the 90s thing, and it said. I'd bought it in Germany, but it was a picture of an owl, and in English it said, "Give a hoot, don't pollute," and I wore that probably like every week at least. It was my
you sounded cool.
Yeah.
That is super cool. Yeah, like my thing was like I was really cool in like grade school, and it kind of continued in high school. Like I was smart, but I was also hip. I wore the right clothes because my sister was a couple years ahead of me, so I would actually like go into her room and be like, okay, what about this outfit? You know, like what
Okay.
about these boat shoes and this Mossimo T-shirt or this Big Johnson T-shirt or Stussy T-shirt or whatever. So I was really kind of cool. And then at the end, I was voted Prince Charming in eighth grade.
Wow.
But like I can't like that's not the shameful part. Like in the final sock hop, like all these girls like they lined up to kiss me. There's like 5 to 10, and really what it was like they saw that I kissed this girl and they're like, "Did you just kiss her? Are you guys together?" I was like, "No, she asked me to kiss her, so I kissed her." And they're like, "Well, you kissed me?" And so I kissed like 5, 10 girls like right then at the sock hop.
Sorry, I just realized my dog is literally right behind me, just groaning. She heard this whole conversation. And
Oh no. See, yeah, Erica Cuddy is just hilarious. Check out her videos because she was just hilarious with her dog. Erica Hernandez, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.